Hey Sagittarius, how are you this afternoon? I guess we're in this afternoon. My name is Cheryl Lynn, and I'm here to do your weekly reading. This one's going to be for April 14th through the 17th, which should be Monday through Thursday. Okay, I'll be back on Wednesday with bonus weekend readings, and then I'll get you through your weekend then. This one's for my Sagittariuses. Okay. Well, that was a heck of a shuffle, but we'll go with it. Okay. Alrighty, this one's for Sagittarius. Alrighty. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, what are we starting with? King of Cups. Somewhere right there. Okay, King of Cups. Two of Swords. And then the Eight of Pentacles. This is your recent past or your backstory. Oh, I have to wash this thing. Okay, what do we got for the current? The Devil. Too far down. Okay. The Devil, the Two of Wands. And the Five of Wands. And in the near future, I'm looking at the Hangman, the Ten of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck for this one is the Moon. So the underlying current to this entire reading is the Moon card. The Moon card speaking of many different things, but in this situation, it feels like it's speaking of things done in the dark coming to the light. Whether those things were done to you or by you, I don't yet know. We'll have to see how this plays in, but that is the undercurrent here, okay? So not seeing things totally clearly because not all the information's being made available type of deal, okay? Okay. The card at the center of your read is the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is all about standing at a crossroads and needing to decide on a direction, right? I don't personally believe that there's necessarily a wrong direction when you're being faced with the Two of Wands, but they are usually very opposite of each other. And by picking one, the other one will normally fall away. That's what I've got there. So this as well, we'll see how it plays in, okay? This looks like an interesting reading. Okay, so let's start where we begin, which is the past or your backstory. Here I have the King of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Eight of Pentacles. So you're presenting here as the King of Swords, or the King of Cups. I'm sorry, the King of Cups. Come on, Cheryl. So there's some kind of, in the recent past, I think that you were existing within a sense of emotional calm. I think you felt as though you had become totally invested into something. I'm trying to see by looking down. It does feel like it could have possibly been romantic. Whatever it was, you felt as though you got to a point where you were in a state of emotional calm, like things had just, you were okay. You know what I'm saying? Things were okay. You weren't just calm. You were calm. Your emotions were calm, okay? With this Moon underneath over here, I get the feeling that that was very deceptive. As far as I don't believe that that the situation, it wasn't really giving, the calm that you were feeling wasn't real, okay? It was an illusion that somebody had made up around you so that you would feel that way. Okay, with the Two of Swords, you are all the way invested here. I'm sorry. With the Two of Swords, this is something to do with being forced into a corner where you had to make a decision that you didn't feel like you had the facts about to make the decision at hand. I feel like in the recent past, you felt like everything was great, and it was because you had been put into an illusion. You were living within an illusion that somebody had created for you. Unfortunately, I don't believe that that stayed in place. So I feel like in the recent past, it was fairly traumatic when you came to realize that what you had been part of was not real. Or there were a lot more moving parts involved that you had no idea were even there. I feel like I'm talking in riddles, but that's what I'm getting right now. I feel like your world came to went crashing into reality here in the recent past is how it feels. Okay, so these three cards right here I couldn't change if I wanted to, right? Because this is something that's already happened. But however this played out and however it affected you is what's affecting the rest of this reading. I truly feel like you put all of your eggs into a basket and you felt 100% confident in doing so because you felt like everything was fine. And you had been tricked basically into feeling that way because I don't feel like everything was ever fine. And that is because the person you were dealing with was incredibly deceptive and manipulative, it looks like. So it was a very hard reality when you came into the truth about the situation, whatever truth you've even managed to get at this point. With this moon card here, I don't know that you know the truth yet, but you do know things aren't right, okay? Okay, let's get out of that energy. That's not fun. Okay, so now where are we at currently? Well, currently you've got the Devil, the Two of Wands, and the Five of Wands. Okay, the Five of Wands speaks of conflict, you know. Lots of times it's like inner conflict. It also speaks of competition. You had a false sense of security up here. Now I don't feel like you have any security at all. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you can't be certain about anything right this minute. With the Two of Wands, you have a decision to make as far as which direction you want to go. And for lack of a better way to put it, it feels like it's almost like whether you want to go towards the light or the dark. With the Devil on one side, that's the easier route, right? That's the easiest route, is to go towards the Devil, you know. It won't be easy in the long run, but right this second, it takes very little effort. And there will be very little change, okay? It leads into the Hangman down here, so it just keeps you stuck. To go in the opposite direction would be to go towards the Five of Wands. You're very conflicted about going in that direction. It feels uncertain. You know there's competition. It'll be a hard road, but I'm sure it'll be more satisfying in the long run because it falls into the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. So that's where you're at right now. Let's move forward. Where are we going to go now? Okay, so in the near future, we're looking at the Hangman, the Ten of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. And I think this is pretty much a split. So it's like if you go with the easier route, then that keeps you tied to the Devil somewhat. Because it's eroding at your self-esteem, self-worth, everything. I mean, it's just eroding at you. Staying in this situation when you know that they've been deceptive and you know you don't know what's really going on. You're tempted to stay just because it's comfortable, just because, you know, to change seems like such a lot of work. Okay, and going the other way, you have all this challenge and everything, right? The Eight of Pentacles falling into the Five of Wands, but at the end you get the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new situation that will be much more beneficial to you, I'm certain. Down the center, I have the Two of Swords to the Two of Wands, meaning that you are totally on the fence. You have no idea which way to go right now. You're really... And the reason you don't have any idea which way to go really is because you don't know which things are true and which things aren't true, which makes everything in your world feel like it's up for grabs, right? Everything is on a seesaw. You need to get grounded right now. Ten of Swords at the bottom, you have to accept the fact that you've been betrayed in this situation. You really do. Even if you decide to stay, you need to come into acceptance with the fact that you have been betrayed, because I feel like it's something you're trying to not see or not accept right now. This person knowingly deceived you and knowingly manipulated you into the situation that you're in, and they never did it for your greater good. They did it to somehow benefit themselves. Just so we're clear on that. Okay, let me see. What do I have? Behind the Moon, I have the Chariot and the Nine of Swords. Inside of you, you know that you need to move forward, but I don't know if for some reason you're really struggling with it. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of hard work, and that's not what you really want to do. You don't want to sign up for that. The card that fell out was the Four of Swords. Then I have the Four of Pentacles and then the King of Pentacles. Four of Swords, Four of Pentacles. You need time to heal. You're trying desperately to hang on to something even though you know it's no longer serving you. The two fours tell me your biggest concern right now is a sense of stability and security that you feel like you're going to have to throw away to go off in a different direction. With the King of Pentacles, this is truly where you're supposed to be, but you cannot be there until you can get out of this devil energy, get away from being stuck, you know. Don't be too hard on yourself. This is a process. It took you a while to get yourself into this. It's going to take you a minute to find the other side and get yourself out, but just know that nothing that's worth having is ever going to be easy. You're always going to have to work hard for it, right? So to stay with the easy route is going to be less beneficial to you in the long run, is what I got on that, okay? I'm about out of time. I seem real long-winded today, but I hope that somehow helps, Sagittarius, and I'm sorry it looks like it's been tough, but you do look like you're at the end of that part, okay? It's getting better now. This is all about acceptance at this point, okay? All right, y'all. I will see you in a few days. Take care.